Yes, mu kaseera kano tugenda kuba twolekera ekyatuleese olunaku lw'olwaliro nga batugamba altitude. Yes, bakutuusizaako sema gye tugenda okwolekera. Wano nga bagamba BFI nabo begasibwamu the International Rotary nga begasi ekyaliwa nga akyashinze. Okuyingiranga mu mubiri gwo.
What happens when a fight is no longer about winning a championship, but about protecting your family honor? Imagine carrying a legacy of a legendary boxer only to watch someone publicly disgrace your father's name. That is exactly the emotional battleground of The Heart of the Furious. This is Malaysia's first serious boxing drama, and surprisingly, it's much more than just another sports movie. Is The Furious worth your time? Let's step into it and break the ring down. This movie is directed by Heng Seong, and in the future directorial debut, The Furious runs for 106 minutes and marks an important milestone for Malaysian cinema. Rather than following the familiar path of mixed martial arts films, this movie focuses entirely on boxing, giving the audience a refreshing and grounded sports drama. The story begins when Daniel, a loudmouth YouTuber turned boxer, publicly incites the memory of legendary boxer Hamid. That single act reignites old wounds within Hamid's family, forcing estranged brothers Fadias and Hakim to reunite. Fadias wants redemption, Hakim wants revenge. As emotions continue to boil over, both brothers realize that the biggest fight isn't against Daniel, it's against the pain, resentment, and broken relationship that has divided them for years. What makes the movie work? The biggest strength of Furious is that it understands boxing isn't just about throwing punches. It's every fight inside the ring, and it represents emotional battle that is happening outside of it. Director Heng Seong deserves a lot of credit here. Even though this is his first feature film, he directs the boxing scenes with confidence and authority. Instead of exaggerated slow motion punches and over-the-top action sequences, the fights feel grounded and brutally realistic. You can almost feel every hit. The camera moves around the ring with remarkable energy, almost like any other boxer participating in a fight. Rather than relying on excessive editing, and the cinematography always allows viewers to appreciate the choreography and physical exertion of each fighter. Every clinch, every stumble, every drop of sweat helps immerse you in the experience. The boxing sequences don't just look impressive, they feel earned. Now let's talk about the performances, because this is where the film truly lands its emotional punches. Zul Alfin delivers what is arguably one of his strongest performances in the recent years as Fadias. His portrayal as subtle yet powerful. He isn't constantly expressing emotion through dramatic speeches. Instead, much of his performances come through his body language, facial expressions, and quiet movements that reveal years of emotional burden. Sky Islander provides an excellent contrast as Hakim. Where Fadias is calm and restrained, Hakim is fueled by anger and emotion. His intensity gives the story urgency, and the chemistry between the two brothers believable from beginning to the end. Then there is Daniel. He's loud, he's arrogant, he's provocative, and honestly, the kind of antagonist this story needs. His flashy personality, social media fame, and constant disrespect make him someone audiences love to hate. Every scene he's in raises the tension, making eventual confrontations even more satisfying. What surprised me about this Furious movie wasn't the boxing, it was the family drama. At its heart, like other movies, ask for simple and powerful question. What does it really mean to protect your family honor? Is it through violence, through revenge, through forgiveness? Those themes of legacy, brotherhood, sacrifice, and parental expectation give the film emotional depth that elevates it beyond a typical sports drama. Director Heng has mentioned that much of his emotional foundation comes from his own experiences as a father, and can genuinely feel that sincerity throughout the story. Instead of becoming overly sentimental, the film balances emotional moments with enough realism to keep this impactful. As we know, like any other movie, this movie has its own weaknesses. Of course, while The Furious succeeds emotionally, it occasionally falls into familiar sports movie formulas. If you watched films like Creed, The Fighter, or even Rocky, you will probably recognize certain story beats before they happen. Some dialogue also feels slightly melodramatic, with a few scenes pushing emotions a little harder than necessary. The narrative itself remains fairly straightforward, focusing almost entirely on the central conflict without introducing any subplots. For some viewers, that simplicity keeps the pacing tight. For others, it may feel like so predictable, you know. Additionally, while the final boxing matches are visually exciting, a few of the earlier fights don't receive the same level of cinematic creativity. There is effective, but the climax clearly receives the director's strongest attention. And why does this movie matter? This movie matters despite the shortcomings. I think it's important to recognize The Furious presents for Malaysian cinema. For years, local action films have largely focused on martial arts or mixed martial arts. This film confidently steps into the boxing genre, which authentically and ambition intimate that of Hollywood. Instead, that's what makes it feel fresh. It's not trying to be next Creed. It's not becoming the Malaysian own boxing classic, and in many ways it succeeds. This is my final verdict. The overall The Furious is an emotionally engaging sports drama that combines realistic boxing with heartfelt storytelling. The action feels authentic, the performances are convincing. Zul Afrin carries the emotional weight of the film exceptionally well, yes, while the supporting cast helps create unbelievable family dramatics. Although the story occasionally relies on familiar sports movie conventions and some dialogue can really feel overly dramatic, as I said, those issues never overshadow the film's genuine heart. For boxing fans, sports movie lovers, and anyone who enjoys stories about family, redemption, and personal sacrifice, this is definitely a movie worth watching. My final rating is 9 out of 10. It may not reinvent the boxing genre, but it lands enough emotional and physical punches to earn your respect. And for Malaysian cinema, The Furious feels like the beginning of an exciting new chapter. If you have already watched the movie, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Did you think Fadias made the right choices? Who gave the best performance? Do you think this is Malaysia's best sports film so far? If you enjoyed the movie, if you enjoyed this review, why don't you give us a subscribe and a like so that this channel can turn a very big one in the near future? Thanks for watching and see you in the next review.